Welcome home, Mr. Cobb. Thank you, sir.
I watched the movie Inception with that ex-girlfriend I had at the time. And after we watched that movie, we went to brush the teeth and go to sleep. And as I'm brushing my teeth, I feel something really weird. I have no idea what's going on. And I feel like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? I feel like depression, like heavy depression. Like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, just brush your teeth and go to sleep. Tomorrow's a new day. I'm brushing my teeth. And the more I get closer into bed, I feel more and more like, and I'm like, okay, just fall asleep, just fall asleep. And I go into bed, and she's next to me in the bed, and I'm feeling really weird. I'm feeling weird. And she's like, what's happening? What's going on? And then I start walking in circles in the room, and I feel like, what's happening? I have no idea what's happening. And I feel like I've been drugged or I've been poisoned. I'm experiencing something from it, and I feel like all these different things are happening to me. And I'm like, I keep doing, and I don't know what to do, and I'm walking in circles in my room, and I have to get out of the room. I feel like the walls are breathing and closing in on me. I'm desperately trying to do stuff, so I put the water on. I want to make a tea. I'm trying to cut ginger, but I can't cut it with my fingers, with my hands, because I'm like... The thinking process was, everything I say works against me. She's a witch, that girlfriend I see her, and she's a witch, that guy's in my life, and oh, this is because of him. I need to go to a mental hospital. How I grew up, and my parents, everything fucked me over, and I'm fake, and I'm blah, and I'm blah, blah, blah. Like, for the first time in a long time, I was dealing with reality. So my name is Eldar Blau. I grew up in Israel, in Tel Aviv, in the big city. There's a lot of things that shaped me in my childhood. My father trying to make me be this really smart person as a kid. I used to play a lot of computer games. I was really not eating, not like doing anything other than playing computer games. And I was the outside kid. I didn't really know how to react to people. I didn't understand myself in the social situations. Like, also a big part of my childhood, since I was 14, I started smoking weed, and a lot of weed. I think when I was 16, I started going to nature parties in Israel, nature raves. And I used to take a lot of drugs since I was 16. It was a part of this escape from not being so social and like not knowing what to do. And I didn't really have an example of someone like to look up to. I had my uncle. He's the first one that he gave me my first didgeridoo. When I was 17, I went to this family dinner one Friday, and my uncle was there, and he brought this stick, and he was like, and I said like, wow, can I see that? And I took it, and I started, I just kept on doing that the whole evening, and my uncle saw how much I liked it, and he gave me this plastic thing with a mouthpiece that he created, and he told me, take this, if you learn how to circular breathe, I'm gonna buy you a didgeridoo. And I came back next week, I was like, where's my didgeridoo? And then I found myself just going to parks and playing in random places. And then one day, someone walked by me and threw some coins in my bag. So I wrote a sign saying, hi, I'm the Strawberry Man. Music is my life. I'm here to give you a moment of peace. Take a strawberry for a smile. And it was crazy. I never ever expected it to be like that. Like, I made 200 euros that day and I didn't even notice that I did that. And I felt like, this is it. And then I was in the army. It's mandatory in Israel, 3 years. It was really crazy. I was a weird child and I was playing a lot of computer games, and I went to the army to be like a warrior. And in the process, I became a pacifist, kind of. Then I had this job that I answered this phone that barely rings. And I would just come there with an amplifier and a didgeridoo. And I would play the didgeridoo all night. So after the army in Israel, I was 21 years old. And it's like a tradition. Everyone in Israel, after the army, they go to India. And I went with all my friends. I got a little bit lost. I was like, what am I doing here? And I was thinking about it and writing stuff. And I came to the conclusion that I like playing didgeridoo. And then I started making shows there. Then Moran, my girlfriend, she came there to travel with me. We had a really good time together. We saw a lot of amazing places. We lived in this place, Vata Canal, on the mountains. Just me and her. But I felt something's fucked up inside me, like I don't know what's going on. I was a bit depressed, and me and Moran, the things between us were really not good. And I broke up with Moran. I met a lot of didgeridoo people on this journey. And I was always told to go to meet the Aboriginal people, hang out with them so I can understand what this instrument is about. And find this guy named Jalu Guruwiwi, and ask for their blessing. I slept every day. I slept at Jalu's place, and I kind of make breakfast for him every day. And I had the most interesting conversations with him. First of all, I told him about my problem. I couldn't decide if I want to go back to Israel to be with my ex-girlfriend, with Moran, or I want to go to Berlin to be a musician. I didn't know what to do, and I was so lost, and I couldn't stop thinking about Moran all the time. I would just think about her. It was so intrusive. I was so in love with her, and I didn't know what to do. He told me, sit down, and he took his didgeridoo and he played on me. I closed my eyes and I wanted to believe in this magic, in this healing. And I remember that I had this feeling of like, wow, this is really happening. And then he looked at me and he told me, while he played on me, he saw from my heart 2 lines go out. And what he said was, I cut one of them. And this is the healing. This is how it works, with a metaphor. Finally, some big stone was lifted off my heart, and I didn't know if I'm going back to my ex-girlfriend or not, but I didn't care so much what's going to happen. I was really relaxed. After a long time that I couldn't relax. So after that, what I did was straight go back to Israel and go back to that ex-girlfriend. Then I figured out, oh shit, it's all the same, and that's not the line that Jalu cut. And then I said, okay, now I know what to do. I came here just with a didgeridoo, and I was playing on the street every day for 6 hours. Like I would bleed from my lips. For the first time in my life, I was really alive. I was always before that, I didn't know how to be intimate with anyone. And what I wanted, nowadays I understand what I wanted was intimacy. But what I was looking for was sex. And I read all these books about all these fucked up pickup artists. I started thinking like them. I was looking all the time for weed and for sex, to bury that alone feeling that I had. Something felt really wrong, and I was feeling like I kind of manipulate people, not only girls, I manipulate people to get what I want from them. And my whole life became a bit dark, and I started being this really dark character. When I got into that mind state of manipulating people and all that stuff, I met another girl, and she became my girlfriend, and she was really fucked up. And I lived in her apartment, so she would threaten me that to take that apartment from me. And I started getting really crazy, and while I was with her and I was in this state of mind, I met this other dude, and he was filming me for this movie. And one day he just came to my face, and I just realized, wow, this guy manipulated me the whole time. I was having really awful people in my life. I lived with this crazy dude at home. I didn't even want to sleep home, so I went all the time to sleep with my ex-girlfriend. When I went to her, she would say to me stuff, why the fuck did you bring that stupid idiot into my home? She gave me a lot of weed, and I smoked a lot of weed at the same time to shut off all the emotions and not deal with them. And it was really bad. When I finally got that guy to move out of the house, I watched the movie Inception with that ex-girlfriend I had at the time. Everything fucked me over. And nowadays I see that all this happened to me because I was like that myself. I turned into a kind of a monster, and I would get all these different monsters into my life. And I stopped being the strawberry man, I stopped playing, I stopped doing what I love. So I started looking after all this, all the panic attack and everything happened, and I could a little bit think again. I started looking at all the strongest people that I admire the most in the world, and I came across Tony Robbins. He's this great guru, and he takes cold showers every day. And I had this like routine. Okay, every day I wake up, I go into the shower, and it was winter. And in the winter, the water here is fucking cold. That explains to your body what is real pain and what is real suffering. And you teach your body to relax. So I would do that, then I would get out from the shower and I would sit down in front of the mirror. And I look at myself in my right eye. And I can hear my own breath. and all the meditation, everything started connecting, and I was powerful again. Not so much. I still get all these like little anxieties, but I said, okay, like the most important thing, all this stuff I do for being the Strawberry Man, so I should be playing.
So I'm gonna play one more song before I finish. And this is gonna be a bit different from everything we did so far. Stand up. And I want everyone to come a little bit closer. This is not exactly music, which we're gonna do right now. There's gonna be something happening here that you never experienced before in your life. I'm gonna surround you all with a bubble of sound from my didgeridoo. And this is where I have to tell you that if anyone ever in the world comes to you and tells you, I'm gonna take your problem out of your brain, and that's it, you're gonna be fixed forever, be careful, because it's bullshit. That can't be done. 2 years ago, I had my first and only panic attack in my life, and I thought to myself, like, what? That happens to other people, not me. It was one of the biggest gifts I ever got, because now I'm in the best shape I ever was in my life. And I say this to you because we all have this trauma. Maybe you didn't have a panic attack, maybe you have just a little bit of anxiety, but at some point in life it comes, and it's important to know that whatever it is, take it out, look at it, and realize it's not so bad. All right, you guys ready for this? Let's get serious.
And this is exactly what Jalu did to me. This is exactly what I experienced with the Aborigines. This like metaphor of something is being resolved. It's up to you just to believe that it's solved. So basically it comes down to this. Think about whatever it is in your life that you really love doing, and just fucking do it. That's what we're here to do.